So good evening. Here we are. This is our first Zoom meeting. Thank you so much for joining us. Please bear with us if we have any hiccups here. What we will do this evening is a little different than what we normally do. When we get to item number 4 on the agenda, after we have the approval of the minutes, we are going to ask for public comment on all of the agenda items. So rather than waiting for line item comment, we're going to ask for public comment. We will take all of the comments at once. So having said that, again, good evening, and I will ask for the approval of the agenda items. Shall we do a roll call, Solicitor?
You need to do a roll call to begin the meetings. Yes.
Okay.
Harry would do that.
Mayor Calabrese,
Present.
Councilman Petrucci,
Present.
Councilman Getzey,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Present.
Councilman Pecora.
Present.
So in terms of the approval of the minutes, shall I just ask for a roll call, Solicitor?
Ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll approve the minutes, Deputy or Mayor.
I'm sorry, we were on the approval of the agenda items. So there will be no changes this evening? Okay, very well. Then let's have,
I
I'm
have
sorry.
none. I have no comments. No comment.
Okay, very well. Then let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with
Liberty and justice for all.
May I get a motion for the approval of the minutes from the February 17th, 2020 council meeting?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sapp.
I would like to make a motion that we approve the minutes from February 17th, 2020 council meeting.
May I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Petrucci, to
Yes.
approve the minutes.
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Minutes approved.
So for anyone who is just joining us right now, we will take public comment on all of the agenda items rather than waiting for the call of each line item. Is there any public comment?
Yes, I have a comment from the public.
Could you please identify yourself?
Hello?
Name and address, sir. Yes, name and address, sir.
Yes, it's Ken Love, and I'm Penn Hills pastor at, I was formerly at Kerr Presbyterian Church in Penn Hills, and now I'm with Faith Community Church on Davison Road.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm calling as a representative from the Penn Hills Christian Clergy Association. And we've discussed with Reverend Hunt, who runs a youth employment program at his church in Park. And he says that the council is considering dropping funding for that program, and the pastors and the churches in the Penn Hills region believe that it's very vital for our youth because he helps them find jobs, he helps them find employment, the program helps them get into education, and the pastors just feel that it would be terrible if the Penn Hills Council needed funding for that, and we're just urging that the council reconsider, or at least possibly delay it for another month or two until we can speak face to face on our problems with with everything going on in the world right now. And that's my ask. If you guys would just consider delaying the vote until we can meet, or if that's impossible, just to consider not defunding the youth employment program at Lincoln Park Church from Reverend Hunt. That's our ask, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all I had. You guys have a blessed day, and the Penn Hills Clergy Association certainly we do involve with our politicians, and we pray for blessings on all of you. You have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
Any other public comment on any other item?
May I comment?
Yes.
My name is Linda Theophilus. I'm a Penn Hills resident, pastor of Emmanuel Lutheran Church, and also currently the president for the Penn Hills Association of Christian Clergy. Just want to follow up on what Pastor Ken Love was saying. The program that had previously received funding in the community block grant, it goes by the initials WPHCA Inc. It's a youth employment and training program that's been going on for 25 years. And it's First Baptist Church where it's located. And this is a program that benefits Penn Hills and other youth in Allegheny County. This is, as far as I know, the only, it's through the community block grant that's how Penn Hills money goes into this program. And it's a particularly important year that we continue to have this funding. I believe in the block grant, it's under the priority ED1. There's one that has to do with employment. And for this coming summer, for youth to have employment, there seems to me there'd be limited opportunities. And as Reverend Ken Love also said, it provides preparation for kids to have work skills, to develop those skills, and also to be leaders, which does in fact happen in the high school and in other places. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment on any of the specific agenda items?
Yes, my name is Pastor Theodore Pugh. I pastor Jerusalem Baptist Church on the West End, but I've been a resident of Penn Hills for 39 years. Along with that, I have been involved with Western Penn Hills from its inception. I was the vice president of Western Penn Hills, and then I had to move on to different things. But I also ran the program, the work study program, for 3 years. And in those 3 years, I've seen some of the teenagers who were able to work in that program become entrepreneurs, become people who are involved in different aspects of the community. And for 25 years, Western Penn Hills has produced so many young people in various positions within the society. And so I am urging and encouraging you to reconsider funding Western Penn Hills because I do believe that they will continue to do what they've always done, and they would continue to run a superb program. I have to add to this, we have had recommendations and commendations from Senator Costa as far as the program. If you go back in your records, you will see that. And so I know that this program will benefit many, many young people in this community. So once again, I encourage you to take a look at this and reconsider as far as funding Western Penn Hills. Thank you for your time. May God bless you.
Mayor,
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes, I'm sorry, who's speaking? Is that, oh, the solicitor? Yes, solicitor.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to reiterate and appreciate all the pastors providing the comment that they're providing right now, but the period of comment right now is for agenda items. Those items that are on the agenda that mayor and council will be considering here shortly. Non-agenda items for public comment are supposed to be submitted a week in advance. And I know that the mayor's given everybody liberty. I don't know how many pastors we might happen to have on the line. So it's up to Your Honor, Mayor, to continue to provide comment on any item or on agenda items as this period is reserved for.
Can I add something? Can I? What they're speaking about is on the community development block grant resolution. And also, we're also having a public hearing on the community development block grant program. And this is actually kind of becoming the hearing for the hearing. So I'm not sure, you're correct, Craig, in that it's about agenda items. These are on the agenda, but maybe these comments could be thought of in the public hearing portion of the meeting.
Agreed. That's the appropriate place. Thank you, Chris. Well, we have the meeting being recorded. Mayor, could we just have the pastor's comments when that item comes up on the agenda moved into the public hearing, so incorporated into the public hearing when the time comes?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Also, could the last pastor that spoke, please give his name again?
The pastor from Jerusalem Baptist Church.
Yes, my name is Theodore Pugh, P-U-G-H.
I thought so, Pastor. Thank you.
Ken Love, Pastor Ken Love.
Yeah, thank you.
So moving to agenda items, are there any more comments from the public on specific agenda items?
Am I to understand that we're to wait when that specific item comes up before we can make comments regarding the VPIC? Or can we do it now?
Is the solicitor explaining? I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The mayor and council, they're inviting all public comments on any agenda items. But if it's specific to the CDBG hearing, we would ask you wait till we get to that hearing and open the floor for that comment. Otherwise, she's inviting comments only on the agenda items.
Correct.
On numbers 7 through 8.
Any public comment on those agenda items? With there being no further public comment, may I get a motion for number 5, the ratification, the approval of the expenditures?
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion for the ratification approval of expenditures, ratification of warrants, March 16th, 2020. Journal vouchers 0, CD requisitions 13, 117,797, CD requisitions 1,800,999.16 cents. A total of 1,918,796 and 16 cents. Approval of warrants, April 20th, 2020. Journal vouchers 0, CD requisitions 15, $40,302.66. CD requisitions 15, 40,302.66. I'm sorry. Checks 46,193 through 46,446, 3,366,493 and 64 cents. Grand total of 3,406,796 and 30 cents.
Thank you. May I get a second?
I'll second the motion.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sapp.
I know that this is new for us. We've never had to remotely do a council meeting, but I wanted to go back and just ask a question. We gave public comment on the agenda. Were we going to ask for any council members who may have had something to add or say? Can we have council comments?
Yes, absolutely. I thought we were having council comment on each and every item, so I'm sorry if I bypassed you.
Correct.
That's okay. Okay. Mayor Calabrese?
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sapp.
So for my comment, I have a comment on resolution 7A, and that's resolution number 2020-0013.
Oh, I'm sorry, Deputy Mayor Sapp. And Solicitor, correct me if I'm wrong. Are we not I thought the procedure was we were going to wait until we got to each item.
Right, Mayor and Deputy Mayor. We took public comment on all of the agenda items cumulatively, and then when the line item comes up on the agenda for each specific resolution or ordinance, then the individual council members will provide their individual comment on each line item as it comes through the agenda.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Thank
I'm
you,
sorry.
Mayor.
Thank you. I thought you may have had a comment on the approval or the ratification. Having said that, Manager, I believe we'll go to a roll call now.
Yep. Councilman Getzey on the expenses.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci.
Yes.
And now we're at 6.
Well, you have to, so then it's passed. You're going to put for the record that it's passed?
Yeah, the motion carried, yeah.
Unanimously.
So item number 6, new business.
Okay, it's me.
May I get a
Public-
motion?
Public hearing for fiscal year. I make a motion for the public hearing for fiscal year 2020, 5-year consolidated plan, fiscal year 2020 annual action plan, and the analysis of impediments to fair housing choice.
Thank you, Councilman Getzey. May I get a second?
A second.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Sapp. Roll call.
This is the public hearing.
This is just we don't need to invite an approval. This is the part of the agenda that's just the opportunity for the public to comment on the 5-year plan. Annual
Okay.
action plan.
Right, and so the pastors all spoke, and we were going to move that to this public
Incorporate
hearing
that.
part. And then if there's any more comment, there may be more comments online.
So we're going to incorporate the 3 pastors' testimony that already spoke into this public
Correct.
hearing. And then if there are any additional comments on this item, now would be the appropriate time to address them.
Yes, I would like to make some comments here, please.
Sir,
Please state your name.
My name is James Hunt, 7450 Chadwick, Chadwick Street, Penn Hills, PA 15235. Okay, can I speak at this time?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yes, I'm calling. I'm the founder of the WPHCA Inc. Uh, CBO, community-based organization. And I was calling, well, number one, over these 25 years, I want to thank the Penn Hills municipality, the mayors, all the mayors. We've been under 3 mayors. This is our new mayor is our 4th mayor. And again, we've appreciated the support and the care that has been given to us and shown to us to help our young people in our community, and particularly the underserved young people who are, again, coming from low and moderate income homes, and to provide them an opportunity not only just to work, but also to train and to help them get a vision for their lives as they go forward. We see this program as one to, again, it's not just about cleaning lots and doing community service projects in the community, which we do. We have done those community service projects like cutting all the weeds down around the stop signs, because as you know or don't know, in the western end of Penn Hills, which has formerly been known as Lincoln Park, that there is a lot of vacant land. Over the 30 years that I've been working with this program, all we have seen is that there's been houses after house being torn down, so that it ends up being there vacant lots and land everywhere. So left to itself, and we understand that Public Works cannot clean up everything and cut all the grass. But what happens is when we bring these young people in, we let them know that they can make a difference in their community. And they make that difference by going out and cleaning those lots. And by the time they get done in the summer, they have something to be proud of. People come by and stop by all the time and congratulate them. Sometimes they'll drop by and bring them some pops or whatever it is, but they start to feel and they see something, as opposed to seeing young people as a nuisance. They see themselves as persons that can make a difference in their community and life. I'm not going to speak long, but I just want to make sure that, again, this is a new format, and I know that there have been different ones who have spoke thus far, and there are others who want to speak, and I'm believing that we have some parents and some of the young people that want to speak to this. So I don't want this to go by and they miss their opportunity as citizens in Penn Hills to speak to the council and let them know, because perhaps the council wasn't aware of the hundreds of young people that we work with. Right now, to date, there's been about 800 or more young people that have gone through this program, to the point that we have now grandchildren that of students that were students back when we first started. They have grandchildren to us. So I just want to say, and I'm going to close with this, is the fact is that with this COVID-19, this world-changing event, this pandemic, that there are many people, and particularly these young people, who are so vulnerable, because already they're coming from poor households, and that in better years, when we didn't have something like this going on, that money was going to be used for school clothes, maybe have a little change in our pocket. But in our mind, we were trying to protect them from the streets, protect them from getting involved in illegal activities and being drawn into, these kinds of illicit situations. And also to learn something about themselves, and also to give them encouragement that when they went back to school, they weren't just to be in school for themselves, but they go back as leaders. They go back to make a difference. I'm also a teacher. I've taught in Penn Hills, I've taught in Gateway, and I've taught in Woodland Hills. And I'm about ready to retire from all that, even as of today. But I'm going to continue working with these young people no matter what, because they are our future. But I just want to say this, that at this time, I see it so critically important that in the CBDG, this is one of the few things that is really directed specifically at our young people. And I think it would be a shame for us to pull back away from them now that their households are going through, as the whole world is going through, this situation in which is changing the whole world. Some of their parents have been laid off. Some of them don't have jobs right now. They may not have a job to go back to. But we determined as an organization, as a community organization, that we're putting programs in place, this one being one of them, that we're going to seek to help the families and make a difference for them. And that might not make a whole lot of difference for some people who have a whole lot. But for these families, this is a game changer. For this program for them is one that allows them to, again, have hope that things are going to change and that your young people aren't just going to be sitting playing video games all summer or getting into trouble. So I just encourage council, and I'm sorry I have not gotten up to meet all of you, but I will. I'll be at council meetings going forward because this community is important to me. I've served here in this community. This will be my 30th year. And I continue, as God gives me strength, I want to continue to serve. And I thank for each of you, and I pray for all of you because I know that it's hard decisions you have to make. But let me say this. When we first started the program, we weren't on the budget either. But what that Mayor DeSantis and that council did, when they heard, again, from the people, they realized and recognized that they had money that we didn't have to take away from any other program, because all of the things that are being done are important. But we didn't have to take away from them because there was money that was left over from years before that rolled over that could be tapped into that could come over and fund the program that we were proposing, a youth employment program. So I'm hoping that a mayor and council and maybe Mr. Blackwell can look at that and even ask some questions and look at what is remaining in different projects that was left over. And if we could take those scraps from all those different projects, I believe that we would have the funding that you could continue to maintain what has been given over these last couple of years, which, by the way, was we were cut in half in terms of the budget. When we started 25 years ago, we started with $50,000. But as time went on, there are other programs like the Y program. They had a scholarship they wanted to offer, and there are other programs. And no knocks on any of those programs, all needed.
Your comment, sir. We are past the 3 minutes. I would ask you please summarize and conclude. Thank you.
Right here, Mayor and Council, please help us. Please help these young people and help these families. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further public comment?
Yes, Theron Way, 102 Spring Grove Road. I'm calling, I have a couple of questions. One is there funding for youth this summer? If there is, I would like to know how I could support that funding and what specifically is the program that you have for youth ages 14 to 17. So you may not have that readily available for you right now. I can pick it up or you can mail it to me at 102 Spring Grove Road, no problem. I'm also calling to.
I'm sorry, I did not get your first name, man.
Dr. Theron Wade, 102 Spring Grove Road.
What I could just tell you is this is an opportunity for you to comment on the plan that's been made public. The plan is on our website. It's on our front page of our website. We also have it here at the office. So it's your time to comment on the plan that's been put forward. It's
okay.
Really not a time to answer questions.
Okay, so I'm not,
about
okay, that's fine.
Let
me comment. Is that possible?
Yes,
Dr. Wade.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm calling about the program, making a comment. And not only was I a participant in the program, my son was a participant in the program. Other students who I know were participants of the program. They're currently college students. This is an invaluable program. Like I said, was also a participant, and I see the value of this program. Again, I want to make sure that the council knows that there's people in the community who are concerned and about our youth and how we're educating our youth, how we're taking care of youth, how we're using our taxes to protect to educate our youth. So if there's anything I can do to offer support for this program or any other youth program, I'd like to know. And also, like I said, I'll make sure that council and the mayor is aware that there are several individuals who are not at this meeting at this moment, but have asked me on their behalf to offer my support for this program and to thank you for previous years in assisting this program.
Thank you so much.
Hello?
Any
Hello, can
further
you hear me?
public? Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, great. Jace Ransom, 500 Hamilton Drive Extension. I wanted to comment on the Western Penn Hills Community Action Program. Somebody has already commented on it, but I'd also like to say that ask that the mayor and council reconsider cutting the program. I have worked with Reverend Hunt in many different capacities throughout the years, throughout the 25 years or so that I've known him. I have personally been involved in the work program in the summer for the youth, and have had, as a former teacher, I've had several students who were part of that program, and can tell you that what they've gained from that opportunity has allowed them to become better residents, as well as has given them the skills to be able to be successful in the jobs that they've gotten since. So again, I'd just like to ask that the council, mayor and council, would reconsider cutting the funds for the Western Penn Hills Community Action Program.
Thank you so much. Any further public comment? Any comment from council?
I have a question for Chris. How long was that program been funded? How many years has that been funded in the past?
I believe at least 26, 27 years. I've been here 26 years, and I worked with Reverend Hunt on this program from the beginning.
Okay. And the other question, Chris, you say there's a public hearing coming up on CDBG.
Yes.
What's the date of that?
This is the public hearing right now. This is the public hearing.
Oh, okay. I'm done.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sapp.
I'd like to ask Chris, this program has been in existence for 26 years or so. However, is the question that we're considering cutting the funding?
Yes, Deputy Mayor, the Western Penn Hills Community Action is not funded in the current budget. I think Mayor and Council have some difficult decisions coming up with respect to funding, and you'll notice that we used to fund more subrecipients, but in this budget, we only have basically the food pantries, the Service Association, Jefferson Manor, and the Lincoln Park Community Center Food Pantry. So, this is an opportunity for those folks to come forward, and they've spoken. I think I explained also that I would recommend that you approve the budget as it is tonight, and there will be ample opportunity in the future to have an amendment to fund this program again, if that's what you desire. I believe I explained that we're going to have additional funding, and I can talk about that later. I can talk about it now. Based on the COVID-19, there will be additional funding coming to Penn Hills in the amount of $425,000. That's as a part of the CARES Act. We're looking at programs for rental assistance, mortgage assistance, food pantries. We're looking at those kind of things. But at that time in May, I believe it will be at your May meeting, we'll have a new agenda. If that was something that Mayor and Council desired to fund again, we could do that. But I would encourage you to approve the budget as it is tonight. And you are correct. Your question was, yes, it has been removed from the budget.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Any further comment from council?
Just comment, public comment. I have one more comment. My name is Anna Brooke. I am Vice President of Western Penn Hills Community Action. And I'm glad to hear there's more money and there's consideration for a program. From what I understand, one of the uses of CDBG funding to expand economic opportunities, principally for low and moderate income persons. Penn Hills is the tale of two cities. You have the poor and you have the advantage. As far as I see in this consolidated plan, there's nothing there to foster economic opportunity for the low and moderately income persons. And I think it would behoove the council to reconsider this program, which is only a small piece of getting to that point. But when you're developing communities, hopefully you are, that are sustainable, one of the major pieces that has to be developed is the residents. For a community to sustain, to constantly change, sustainable community development mean resilient residents that constantly develop and have opportunity, equitable opportunity to live the quality of life that they can. So what I'm asking for is commitment to revisit this if there is a vote and that vote goes down that they want this budget here to revisit and reconsider and look at the economic opportunities, especially with this program that has been successful over 25 years.
Thank you so much. Chris, I have a question. So what is our time frame? If we were to table this, what's the time frame to get this grant? What's our time frame?
We really can't, really can't table it. And knowing that it's coming up again in May with the new COVID money coming in, if it was something that you wanted to add to the agenda, we would do it then. I would urge you to do it then. I think we can pass the budget as it is. And then we know we're coming back in May with COVID-19 funding. And at that time, we can certainly amend this budget.
So are you saying to pass it now so that we can guarantee the funds and then we can amend in May to add?
Yes. The COVID funding, like I can't remember if I spoke to you before the meeting or now, but we have 425,000 additional funds that we are going to need to budget. And so I'm going to be coming forward with you to a proposal to budget that $425,000, and it will most of it will go to rental assistance and mortgage assistance. And then we're going to be able to amend the 2020 budget, this budget, to actually include demolition, other things, because the COVID money is going to take care of food pantries, things like that. But at that time, we will certainly, if this is something that you desire me to add back in, Western Penn Hills Community Action has been receiving $22,000 recently. We could put that back in at the May meeting.
So to be clear, I'm sorry, go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
I apologize, Mayor Calabrese. I just want to confirm, Chris, that $425,000 COVID money or COVID-19 money will be coming through. Like, is that like a wait list that we're on or something that we're waiting?
Yeah, we actually got a letter. We've got confirmation that that's our allocation, and typically we go through, you have to approve like a budget like this and everything, but it's coming fast. So in fact, this budget, this 2020 budget, we don't get this money until September or something, usually September, October. This COVID money is supposed to come quick. We're supposed to get it May, June, something like that, July. So we're hoping that, that by the May meeting, I'm going to have a budget ready for you. And it would appear that you're inspired by the callers and the residents that spoke to add this back in or keep this in the budget. and I will do that. If you, at your recommendation, I can put that in the May meeting.
So to be clear, I am inspired and I am inclined to vote yes so that we can get the money in here. But I just want to be sure that, if we pass this tonight, that we can meet the concerns. You're comfortable that there's enough money coming in May that we'll be able to meet these concerns.
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, really, you could have an amendment at any time during the year. And really, if you look at the budget, I've allocated $60,000 to storm sewer improvements that were not there before. And I'm not going to say that that's where it's going to come from, but that's where I allocated the money. I think that you have some concerns with infrastructure, things like that this money could also help with. But seriously, I see your understanding and that you've implored to, you want to fund this, and I can assure you that, it'll be on the May agenda, May budget.
Well, can we
Okay,
get-
I don't mean.
I'm sorry.
Question, please.
Maybe we can get
My name is Dr.
council-
Sheila Johnson.
I'm sorry. The manager is speaking.
Yeah,
I'm
I thought the public.
What the manager is recommending is that I can give you more information. I have all the records from previous years for Western Penn Hills Community Action. I can certainly give you any information you like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's fair to put mayor and council in a position where they have to make a decision tonight on the future of this, what sounds like a good program for a lot of folks. But maybe between now and May, if we can get the mayor and council more information about the program, that might help them, with the decision. If we get this additional money, which I know we're going to get, it's already been publicized. I've read about it. Every CDBG entitlement community is getting extra money from the federal budget because of COVID. They could probably maybe balance that and take a look at it. But I mean, I would really like to see the mayor and council get more information about the program rather than just the input. But is there anything we could put before them by way of pictures? What are the projects that have been done in 25 years? Things of that nature I think would be helpful.
Okay, so not to beat a dead horse, but I would like to just say, so I am inspired by the comments, and I am inclined to vote yes to pass this resolution, to pass this so that we can get the funds in here. But I just want to be clear, and I understand what you're saying. So I am inspired. So by voting yes, that is my way of saying that, yes, I want to get the funds in here, but I totally understand that we're going to have to make amendments later or make additions so that we can properly fund what the pastors are speaking about.
Correct.
Shall we move to roll call?
I have one question.
This is just a public hearing.
Okay.
I have one question. Chris, how much is this program going to cost?
In the last year, we spent $22,000 on this program. As Pastor Hunt said, probably 27 years ago, we used to give $50,000. So we've probably spent close to $1 million on this project over 25 years.
I didn't ask you. How much is it going to cost us this year?
Right now, $22,000.
22.
Okay. I think I'm in agreement with the mayor. We got to find the money someplace. Okay. So I don't think that's a whole lot of money to find someplace in your program, for that program, in your CGDB plan. And I think we should do it also. We're not talking about that much money.
Okay, so then, I'm sorry, Deputy Mayor.
So Mayor Calabrese, I just wanted to say to Chris, so Chris, you did confirm that we can make the amendments. If we went ahead and approved it tonight as is, you will put it on the May agenda, is that correct?
If that's what you'd like, yes. And like I said before, the CDBG budget could always be amended. So it's not even a special, you could come to me at some point and say, I want to amend the CD budget to include, something.
Okay, just so it doesn't fall by the wayside, I'd like it to be, if it's okay with the mayor and rest of council, I'd like to see that on the May agenda, please, Mayor.
Yes.
I agree with you, Deputy Mayor Sapp. I agree with you.
Thank you.
So having said that, Solicitor, may we move to Resolution 7A?
Yes, Mayor. The public hearing would now be closed.
Thank you. May I get a motion for Resolution 7A?
Yes, Mayor, I make a motion for resolution number 2020-0013, approving a change order to Pampina Landscaping Company, William McKinley Center, contract number 2019-11 in the amount of $28,964.
May I get a second?
Second,
Any comment from the council?
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes, Councilman Petrucci.
just to give the audience a little information on this, this is going to be to finish up the drainage system that was put in by Pampina Construction. I was up there today. I examined the property. There's some grading that has to be done. Grass has to be planted. A wall has to be put up. There's a significant amount of work that's left to finish up there. And hopefully we can get this done. This was all done because we had a flooding situation that was occurring in this particular building, and it ruined the furnace over the years. So hopefully this stops it. I spoke with Scott and Chris this morning about it, and I'm satisfied with what Pampina has done so far. They said there was a guarantee on this, so we'll just have to watch what's going on and make sure it doesn't leak anymore. But these buildings these are older buildings, and we're throwing more money on them than really needs to be. But we're going to have some type of exit strategy somewhere with this one and the other one that we own. If we're not, we're going to end up as a management company for buildings. So we'll just have to talk about that later, though. But everything else on this seems to be okay.
Any further comment from council?
Yes, Mayor Calabrese?
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sapp.
Yes, I have a question, and maybe Scott can answer this question. So this additional $28,964 came in a change order because there was another rainfall?
I'm going to answer it the best I can, and I'm going to defer to Mr. Blackwell for if you have any more any further questions. But my understanding is that the change order is essentially to restore what was done. There's no back steps on the back of the property. I saw some pictures. I haven't been up there, but I saw pictures. There was issues with the way in which the drain was installed. The elevation of the drain was an issue. So right now, change orders to basically restore all of the, I don't want to say damage, but all of the construction scene, if you will, to basically to pave the parking area that's been cut open for the drain. But it's for restoration. And as to why that's coming as a change order, Chris, do you want to elaborate?
Sure. Basically, the original design, I'll try to explain. The original design, the closest catch basin was at a specific elevation. If you go towards the building from the catch basin on 8th Street, you're trying to get fall. So say it's 2% fall to behind the building. It made the pipe was 9 feet underground, but the basement is 13 feet underground. So it was actually not at the bottom of the basement. And we thought that would be sufficient, but the July 22nd storm flooded the basement. So it was determined that we need to go lower. And you can see where we're always trying to use our dollars the best way to make projects. We're not trying to just spend money. So, but to take that water now from 13 feet all the way down to 8th Street means you have to go further to catch the drain pipe underground, and you're digging 4 feet deeper for 400 feet. That's a significant amount of excavation. So what happened is, so the real change order, if you look at the details of the change order, it's pipe sizing, catch basins, the things like that. Now what Alex Pampina did is he knew he had a contract for $80,000 in place. In order to make sure that the building did not flood again, he put in the pipe underground that's in this change order. He put in all the work that was required for this change order, but he stopped at the money we have at $80,000. So while it looks like we're doing a change order for restoration, it's really, he didn't want to do more work and not get paid for it. Does that make sense? So he's actually installed much of the work he's installed the work that's in this change order, but he didn't complete it because, you know, he stopped at the $83,000 that we have in place already.
Well, what doesn't make sense to me, Chris, is that why wasn't that caught in the first assessment? When he came out before he even started the work and he did that assessment, why did he not see that?
Well, he was following the specifications. The specifications, and maybe Rick can comment on this, but the specifications, we believe that the pipe would, that at that 9-foot elevation, that it would work, that we would seal the building and it would work. And another pipe from a drain, floor drain, was discovered as a result of that flood. What happened is we came in the next morning and there was 3 feet of water in the bottom, in the basement. And then it immediately went down. That had never happened before. So it was one of these, you know, you're like, wow, where did this water go? We used to have it pumped out by the fire department. So that's when we realized there's another pipe that we didn't know about that Gateway Engineers was not aware of. So now we have connected that pipe to the storm drain. We've connected the downspouts to the storm drain. We believe we have all the water, and we now discovered why the basement was flooding. We didn't know that, or one of the reasons that it was flooding that we didn't know before. So, you know, he was on site in July doing this work. And actually, I think we were fortunate that, you know, I hate to say we're fortunate that it happened, that it damaged the furnace, but as a result, we knew we had to go 4 feet deeper. And then of course, that means 400 feet, 4 feet deeper is a significant amount of excavation and a new catch basin on 8th Street. I don't know, I hope that explains.
One thing to mention, Deputy Mayor, so the bottom line is that the original design was based on the drainage that was found in the basement. During the excavation, as they were excavating and getting ready to install it based on the drainage in the basement, the water came, the rain came, it flooded the basement. Well, that made no sense because we picked up all the drains that were seen in the basement. So we knew something was wrong. So we had the contractor do some extra excavation and found a pipe that was never inventoried, that wasn't showing in the basement itself. So a drain pipe that was about 3 or 4 feet deeper is what was found. So once that was found and the proof was right in front of us, if we don't take care of that drain, this basement is going to flood again. So that's the reason for the change order, is you had to pick up that pipe because that was not going to solve the flooding problem. And it was unknown to everyone, the folks that occupy the building, the people that did the inspections on the drains in the building. It wasn't, the drain was buried and not visible to sight until it was flooded. The basement was flooded during construction, and that led to the investigation and excavation to find this additional drain. So that's the reason for the change order. Chris explained all the things that happened after that, but it was very fortunate that the drain was found now instead of after construction being completed.
Okay, and our engineers, Rick, have gone out and they've done an assessment and they can confirm what this vendor is requesting?
Yes, we did the design on the original basement improvement. And then as I mentioned, once that flooded, it didn't make sense because all the drains were captured. And that led us to work with the contractor to look for something else that was draining, and found the additional drain, and then come up with a design along with the contractor to say, hey, here's where this drain has to go. Here's how far it has to go. Here's how deep it has to go. So the system that's in place now has been designed and checked by the engineers and installed partially by the contractor.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any further comment from council?
I have one quick question for Chris. That furnace is okay up there right now?
Yes, it's all been redone. Yeah, it's all been cleaned. The mud went in, it was all cleaned, and it's running, it's operating fine, right?
Okay.
So the bottom line is it was not the fault of the contractor, and it could not be foreseen. It was unknown when the design was put in place. So this is a necessary expenditure. That's the way I understand it.
Yes.
That's correct.
Correct.
Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey.
Yes.
Motion carried.
May I get a motion for resolution under 7B?
Yes. Mayor Calabrese,
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sapp.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolution number 2020-0014, adopting the Verona, Oakmont, Penn Hills, and Plum VOP, VOPP Trail Feasibility Study for Verona Borough, the Borough of Oakmont, Municipality of Penn Hills, and Plum Borough, and prepare the Trail Visibility Study, steering the committee with the assistance of the environmental planning and design team.
May I get a second?
Second.
Any comment from council? Roll call.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
May I get a motion for resolution under 7C?
Mayor Calabrese, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2020-0015, approving the acquisition and subsequent disposition of vacant property located on Harvest Drive, 0295-B-184, in accordance with the Allegheny County Vacant Property Recovery Program, and provide assurance that the acquisition is in consent with the Penn Hills Comprehensive Plan.
For the record, that motion was made by Councilman Petrucci. May I get a second?
A second.
Comment by council. Roll call.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora.
Yes.
Motion carried.
May I get a motion for a resolution under 7D?
Mayor and council, I make a motion that we accept resolution 2020-0016, approving the acquisition and subsequent disposition of vacant property located at 10116 Buchanan Road, 0295 M290 in accordance with Allegheny County Vacant Property Recovery Program, and providing assurance that the acquisition is consistent with the Penn Hills Comprehensive Plan.
For the record, that motion was made by Councilman Getzey. May I get a second?
Second.
Comment by council. Roll call.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Motion carried.
May I get a motion under resolution under 7E?
Mayor, I make a motion for resolution number 2020-17, approving 2020 CCTV contracts with State Pipe Service, Inc. in the amount of $821,215.
For the record, that was Councilman Pecora. May I get a second?
Second.
Comment by council. I have perhaps, Rick, you could expound on this from Gateway Engineers. You could maybe explain a little bit about what this is.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I just give you a reminder that this is part of our annual operation and maintenance plan, the O&M plan, which the Water Pollution Control Department developed and was approved and accepted by the Allegheny County Health Department. This is an annual contract. It's CCTV, which is televising of a specific set of sewer lines throughout the municipality. The obligation for this televising is on the significant sewers, and there's a definition for it, but it's the larger diameter, more significant sewers. The televising, the cleaning and televising is required every 5 years. So every pipe that fits the significant category is to be cleaned and televised every 5 years. Lesser significant, smaller diameter sewer lines, like the sewer lines up in the neighborhoods and the top of the sewer systems, are required to be televised once every 10 years. So how this works is the lesser significant sewer lines, 10% of those total lineal feet are televised every year, 10%. So over 10 years, 100% are televised. And for the significant sewers, which are every 5 years in duration, we televise the 20% of those every year. And so they cycle twice in a 10-year period, and the lesser significant sewer lines are televised once every 10 years. So that long explanation leads us to this year's requirement, which is that 10% and that 20%. However, you may notice that this contract is larger than ones in the past. And the reason for that is last year, and because there's so much quantity, we split the contracts because they're just too large for one company to do. And we might not be able to get it complete in a year. So we split the quantity. And what happened last year, we got a really good price on one contract, and we got a really high price on a second contract. So instead of paying the really high price, Water Pollution Control Department Director Tom O'Grady decided that we would forego the high price and all the quantity with it, and we would put it in next year's program. So this is next year's program, and so we have actually 50% more quantity than we've had in the past. So that's why the number itself is higher. We are catching up from last year. The prices are very good this year, and interestingly enough, one contractor got both contracts. Actually, there were 3 contracts this year because of the extra quantity. So State Pipe Services, they're an excellent company. They're very efficient. They're great to work with. We got really good pricing. So everybody's pretty happy about this contract as far as the probability of getting it done quickly and on time and within budget. And so we did recommend that you award this contract tonight.
Thank you. Welcome. Roll call.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci.
Yes.
Motion carried.
May I get a motion under Resolution 7F?
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sapp.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolution number 2020-18 to ratify the resolution designating Scott Andre Chack as the agent of the municipality of Penn Hills for the purposes of obtaining financial assistance under the Robert T. Stanford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act.
May I get a second?
Second.
Now comment by council. Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey.
Yes.
Motion carried. And that was a resolution that we had already approved, and we were just ratifying it this evening because of the timeline and the deadlines.
May I get a motion under 7G?
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes, Councilman Petrucci.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 2020-19, authorizing the submission of the analysis of impediments to fair housing to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
May I get a second? Comment by
Second.
council. I'm sorry. Comment by council. Roll call.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp.
Yes.
Motion carried.
May I get a motion under resolutions 7H?
Mayor Calabrese, I make a motion to approve resolution number 2020-20, approving the Community Development Block Grant Program Consolidated Plan for fiscal year 2020-2024, action plan for fiscal year 2020, and the home program.
For the record, that motion was made by Councilman Getzey. May I get a second?
Second.
Second.
Comment by council. I would like to make a comment on the previous and my resolution, in that when these things are submitted to HUD, they're scrutinized very closely, so that anything that's submitted to them is okay with them unless they comment on it. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But these are pretty routine things, and I want to assure council that they're scrutinized both by our planning department and by the Department of HUD.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Getzey. Roll call.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora.
Yes.
Motion carried.
May I get a motion under resolutions 7I?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution number 2020-21, awarding the Lime Hollow Sanitary Sewer Upsizing Phase 2 project to Meranti Contracting, Inc. in the amount of $480,060.
For the record, that motion was made by Councilman Pecora. May I get a second?
Second.
Comment by council.
Mayor Calabrese, could somebody enlighten us what this is, this contract is for, please?
Go ahead, Rick.
Yes, what this is a grant project. We have an 85% grant for this project, and it is to upsize the sewer line along Lime Hollow Road. If you remember, several years ago, Lime Hollow Road used to be closed on a somewhat regular basis as a result of heavy rains. What would happen is the sewer line along Lime Hollow Road would overflow, and that resulted in a sewer lid that would come off the lid, the frame itself, and now you would have an open hole in the driving lane of Lime Hollow. So the road would be closed until the area could be cleaned up and the lid could be replaced. And that was a pretty normal occurrence during heavy rains. So as a result, there have been, this is probably the fourth project in and around Lime Hollow to assist in stopping that excess flow going to Lime Hollow and causing overflows. So this is a grant project, and this is the second grant project that was received in order to upsize the pipe. And so what's happening is there is I'm going to say a 10-inch pipe, maybe 12-inch in some cases, that's being upsized to 15-inch. And as we move down Lime Hollow, what ends up happening is The 15-inch is being moved down Lime Hollow, but it does eventually stop where the project stops and goes back into that 12-inch. So you see that at that location, the 12-inch is still the bottleneck. So it will back up and could still overflow. But what's happening now is we've been able to calculate exactly where the overflow will be, and it does not cause a problem along Lime Hollow. So this project was approved by DEP. The design was submitted and approved. We have a Part 2 permit to do this work. And so all of that is in line and in order. The grant is in order. There was one glitch that showed up right as we were ready to bid the project. PennDOT decided that they were going to do slide repair work, which consisted of building walls along Lime Hollow. We were planning to close Lime Hollow for about a month while we did our work. And it turns out they're looking to close Lime Hollow for a couple months, 2 to 3 months for their work. So they insisted, because it is their road, before they would give us a permit to do our work, that we had to coincide with their project. So what's going to happen, although COVID threw a bit of a wrench into it, because looks like we're ready to go after tonight. And we have to wait and see when PennDOT is going to mobilize and start their work. So we still have another month or so before we'll award tonight. The contractor has to get the agreements and the bonding and all of that back. That usually takes a month. So we've got another month before this project would even begin to start. And by then, we're assuming that PennDOT will be back on schedule and they'll be on site. So once they're on site, we can begin our work and actually take advantage of their closure. One less thing that Penn Hills has to pay for. But overall, this is a tremendous grant, and it's really helping in you upsizing and maintaining your sewers, especially along Lime Hollow Road.
Roll call.
I have a question, Mayor Calabrese. May I ask that question?
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sapp.
Rick, so can you just explain then what is, so we have what the bid came in as, but then there was an additional $8,000 add alternative bid number 1.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
What that was for is I mentioned that we were getting a free ride with their closure of Lime Hollow. One thing that there was a possibility of is that PennDOT would finish their work before ours. That doesn't look like it's going to happen now, but there was a possibility of it. So I put in an add alternate that said if PennDOT finishes before we do, and we're left to maintain the lane closure and the signing, I'm sorry, not the lane closure, the road closure and the detour signing, that I got a price for that. Because if it would have happened during construction, it would have been a change order, and change orders usually mean 2 to 10 times what it would normally cost. So the idea here is that we do have a price, a minimal price, actually $8,000 to maintain that that detour route if we have to. And we do not have to implement that that cost. So obviously, if we don't engage the contractor to maintain that, then we certainly won't pay for it, but we're covered if we need to.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Sure.
I have a question.
Yes,
Okay.
Councilman.
On Lime Hollow, it's closed off right now, and I'd like clarification. Is that for our work being done on Lime Hollow?
No.
No? Why is it closed at this point?
As Rick, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rick, but as Rick alluded to, there's ongoing PennDOT work that's going to happen on Lime Hollow and Verona roads. The state through PennDOT is funding embankment restoration, and basically because of the landslide, because of the issues that we had in the summertime that are still ongoing, the state is basically doing landslide repair work. Is that correct, Rick?
Yes, I actually didn't realize they started, so that's great news. So
yeah,
I'm glad that they
have. I don't
have.
know where they're at in the process, but that's part of the PennDOT's work. So we're going to be coinciding with some of it.
Yeah, we'll be able to slide in a month once our contract is, once you give the notice to proceed, after we receive the bonds and the signed contracts, we can begin work. So this looks like it's going to work out nicely. They were talking about closing.
I don't want to
Pardon me?
confuse it. I don't want to confuse it more, but my understanding is our lines aren't going to be impacted by their work. Now on Verona, that might be a different story, but from the looks of it, from what I got from Mr. O'Grady when he was here and from talking to our engineer, the work that PennDOT's doing on Lime Hollow, it won't impact our utilities there, our storm line or our sanitary lines.
Well,
Okay, thank-
that's a point to notice because there are two projects that we're talking about. One is our project, and then, well, there's three projects, sorry. One is our project, one is the slide repair project by PennDOT, and the third, as Scott has mentioned, there's a third project that if PennDOT's slide repair work impacts our sanitary sewer system, then they're going to require that Penn Hills design that relocation, and their contract will install it, and they're going to reimburse 75%. So initially, as Scott said, it doesn't look like they're going to impact our existing sanitary sewer line, so there should be no work associated with that slide repair project. On Verona Road, that could be a different scenario, but we're waiting to we're waiting to hear back from PennDOT, and they'll tell us, we gave them the locations of our sewer lines and storm lines, they'll tell us if there is going to be a conflict, and that we'll then work with the manager and the Water Pollution Control Department to get a reroute of our sewer line that their contractor will install. So that's a lot of sidebar aside from Mr. Getsy's question. But the answer to the question is the reason it's closed is because PennDOT has started their slide repair work along Lime Hollow.
Did I hear you say earlier this would all be done at the end of May?
No, this is, let's see, this is April, May, June. This is July type completion,
Okay.
June or July.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna go turn the light off, disappearing here.
That would be sweet if it could be done. Roll call.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes,
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Motion carried.
So moving to approvals. Lister, do I need a motion for that?
Yes, Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
I make a
Yes.
motion that we approve the eligibility list for sergeants and lieutenants levels.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Sapp. May I get a second?
Second.
Comment from, well, perhaps before comment from council.
I have a comment, question more or less.
Yes,
Is
Councilman.
this, is this adding to the list, an existing list? It says approved.
Actually, if I might, what I was going to say is I think that Chief Burton is on. If you're on, Chief, could you address that?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. It's not adding Mr. Gatsby, it's just replacing a vacancy. We had one lieutenant retire, and we're replacing him. And we have one sergeant who retired and replacing him.
Okay, it's replacement. All right, thank you, thank you.
Any further comment from council?
Is this, we going to 9?
No, I'm sorry, we're still on 8.
Oh, okay.
Roll call.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes,
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Number 9, items for consideration.
I have one.
Yes,
Uh,
Councilman.
I tried to explain this earlier. As you all know, we have a number of citizens who do litter pickup. And there was some litter pickup done earlier during the recent health problems, but subsequent to that, there was a quarantine. And some of the people are unsure as to how this is going to work out. So let me say, if they go out well, I would like some type of policy or statement from the municipality as to, is it okay to go out on the road and pick up litter during the quarantine, number one? If it's picked up, as you all know, it's picked up and bags are left alongside the road to be picked up usually by the state because we do a lot of state roads. And recently, we've been able to get the Department of Public Works to pick up some miscellaneous bags that were picked up. And I don't know if that's going to be what's going to happen from here on in. So what I would like clarified for the people who are volunteers, can they go out and pick up during the quarantine? If they pick up, who will pick up the bags? I understand the state will not during the quarantine pick up bags, and will the municipality Department of Public Works pick up the bags? Or I would like to have the bags assembled and put in one place so that it wouldn't be a stop and start business. Did I make myself clear? Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Can we do that? Can we tell the people who are volunteers, you may go out, you may pick it up, and we will pick up the bags if the state will not?
Do you want to address that?
Well,
If
and I
you're
don't necessarily need an answer right now, but I think that the people who are volunteers should be informed of how to proceed.
I mean, at least in my understanding, I don't know that anyone ever said don't pick up litter. My understanding is a lot of the restrictions we have now are based on group gatherings and close interaction. So if someone wants to go and pick up litter on their own, I don't think there's a problem with that, although we're not the final say. I mean, I think we got to follow all the guidelines and so on and so forth. In terms of what do they do with the litter once they get it, I think it's going to heavily depend on what it is and the amount, but we've been pretty helpful all along in picking up roadside bags. If PennDOT's not doing it for whatever reason right now, we're able to do that. We've done it. We've always done that. Even when the state was doing it, sometimes they missed the pickups. So there's really no issue. If someone does a litter pickup, we can pick those up for them. We've always done that. But in terms of giving someone a policy or advice on, is it okay to pick up litter? I think it is. I think most of the prohibitions we're dealing with are group gatherings. It's only large public gatherings that over 10 people, 6 feet distance is what we're dealing with. So as long as it falls with those parameters, I don't see it as a problem.
Yeah, the question the groups have mostly, whether they're asked or unasked, is what do you do after you pick up the litter, and can we rely on somebody? And usually the state picks them up on Monday because most of the litter is done on Saturday. But if the litter is picked up, we can call you or
yeah,
DPW.
They should probably coordinate it in advance if they can, so we know about it. I mean, the state only does the state roads anyway.
Yeah.
So we've always done that.
Can you send something out to the groups, an email or something to inform them of that? Because I know there's some question about it.
The Penn Hills anti-litter group?
Yeah, just send it out so that everybody who sees it, and once some see it, they'll spread the word.
Okay.
Is that yes, you will, or should I just?
It shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Any further items for consideration?
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sapp.
I'd like Mayor and Council to consider to continue to recognize our first responders, our EMS team, our police, and our EOC workers. They're working so diligently to make sure that Penn Hills residents and business owners stay safe during this time of COVID-19. So I was just wondering if we could put on our marquee out in the front, if it's not already out there, a message just saying thank you to those first responders, EMS police who are working so hard, and EOC workers who are working so hard around the clock, 24/7, to diligently keep Penn Hills safe. Penn Hills, even though we do have some numbers confirmed with COVID-19, I consider Penn Hills to be blessed because those numbers could be astronomical, and they're not. And so I just want to continue that message, please, Scott, on our marquee and any other way that we can to show our appreciation.
It'll probably be done in the next 5 minutes.
Jesse's off camera working on it.
I love how you expedite things. Thank you so much for that. The other thing is, I also would like to know if Jesse could put on our website, happy birthday to Turner's Dairy Farm, who is located right here in Penn Hills. They are celebrating their 90th birthday. So if we can put out a happy birthday message on our website, Jesse, to Turner's Dairy Farm, that would be wonderful. And everybody, well, if you get out, make sure you pick up a blue milk from Turner's Dairy. It's a happy birthday milk, okay? Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Any reports from mayor and council?
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes, Councilman Petrucci.
I just have some quick things I want to put out. First of course, I want to thank the first responders, the nurses and doctors that helped us, that are treating everybody with the COVID-19. I want to also put out that Dr. David Allen Brock with his helpers will be distributing food at different locations Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of every week until further notice. I would like to thank Dr. David Allen Brock, and all his helpers for doing this. Truly spectacular deed of humanity for the residents of Penn Hills, and I'm truly blessed to have him as a friend in this time of uncertainty. If anybody would like a list of the places that he's distributing food, please email me at councilman at COUNCILMEN Petrucci, PETRUCCI @gmail.com, and I'll cut and paste his itinerary and give it to you. Again, that's COUNCILMEN PETRUCCI @gmail.com. One other person that I would like to thank, and they went out of their way the day before Easter. They took their equipment, they put an Easter bunny on top of it, and they tried to make it as normal for everybody as they possibly could, going through each neighborhood. They started out at 10 o'clock in the morning with the Easter bunny on their flatbed, and I believe they didn't get done until probably 4 o'clock, and that would be Kuhn Auto Body. They did it, Angel Kuhn come up with that idea. She did a spectacular job driving around. They used their equipment, their gas, and I want to thank them for trying to bring some type of normalcy to that particular weekend. So that's all I have for right now, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further reports?
Yes, Mayor Calabrese?
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sapp.
So also adding to what Councilman Petrucci stated as far as the lunches, Penn Hills School District is also offering grab and go breakfast and lunch from 12 to 2 p.m. Now there are selective days, and I'm not quite sure of those days, but if you check their website, you will be able to find that information out. Also, there is food that they will be passing out on Fridays that can go home for the weekends. So again, those hours are from 12 to 2, Penn Hills School District, and the pickup would be Lytton Middle School, okay? And I also want to remind our residents that the EOC, that is our Emergency Operations Center, is still open 24/7. So in the event of emergency, that number is 412-342-1199.
Thank you. Any further reports? I would just like to say that I am not happy that this happened, but I am ecstatic that I got to see behind the scenes It is amazing to me how competent and professional our administration is. It's just my hat's off to you, Scott. Certainly Diane Fitzhenry, Chuck Miller. It's amazing because I've walked into the Emergency Operations Center anytime. Sometimes I would walk in very late at night, very early in the wee hours of the morning, whatever, and they are working 24/7. I am so proud and impressed with the people that we have working. And I think we did okay. It was our first meeting, but we'll see. So thank you all so much.
Thank you,
There's
Mayor. And
nothing.
I'll be sure to pass that along to all the staff. It really does mean a lot. We have a lot of good people working for us. And I would also like to thank you for your everyone's participation in this meeting, and also to our IT staff for helping getting it to have it work.
And thank you so
We
much,
all look
Beth.
good. Everybody looks good and healthy.
Terrific.
Yeah.
So since there's nothing further, may I get a motion for adjournment?
I'll motion to adjourn.
May I get a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second.
Thank you very much. Meeting is so adjourned.
Stay healthy, everyone. God
Stay
bless.
healthy and safe.
Thank you too.
Yeah.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.